A Tesla engineer's Jeep ended up under 10 feet of snow for months and it's still there. A Tesla engineer bought a gorgeous 2000 in November, but before he could spend much time enjoying it, he got stuck in snow near Lake Tahoe. Within an hour, deep snow in California's Sierra Nevada mountain range has claimed countless victims over the years, from members of the in 1847 to a. Now there may be it's a 2000 Jeep Cherokee, meaning it's the first year with a distributorless ignition system, though the anonymous engineer probably didn't care much about that when he bought it. He told me over the diehard Jalopnik reader had purchased the boxy AMC designed machine for its lovely character and its ability to get to remote trailheads, as he enjoys backpacking in the Sierras. Back in January, during a ski trip at a cabin near Lake Tahoe, he took the over 200,000-mile but you wouldn't know it Jeep on an unplowed asphalt road with roughly 2 feet of After a bit of testing with a few stumps of his feet felt like compacted snow. Apparently it wasn't actually entirely compacted, because eventually the Jeep's front tires sank into some soft stuff, for which even the Jeep's rugged four-wheel drive system was no match. This happened just as I couldn't recover it and had to abandon it, he told me via email. While Tahoe experienced record snowfall, the local measurement was 500+ inches post-entrenchment. No tow service was willing to drive on the packed snow road after the first blizzard hit. He and his friends, Mr. Tesla engineer, sent me some pictures to illustrate just how quickly things had gotten out of hand. When he had initially, and by 2 p.m., giant drifts covered the vast majority of the Jeep's exterior. A few months later, in mid-March, the owner of the then subterranean mobile rectangle and 2 of his friends grabbed a shovel and went out to search for the inline-6 powered SUV under the snow. This proved rather. Using the Jeep's panic button, the trio was able to hear the horn, but only faintly. It sounded like it. We actually took some 12-foot PVC sections, we'd kinda like just thrust the PVC section into the ground, he told me. Numerous times, after roughly 3 hours of disappointment, the team finally hit something hard with a pipe. We definitely found. We measured the hood to be 10 feet below standing level, the protagonist told me over the phone. This put the roof. He ran some basic calculations on how much weight was bearing down on that roof. I had calculated a 30FT2 roof * 7 feet deep * 20 lbs/fort 340 200 pounds on the roof. It's certainly more. A 2000 Jeep Cherokee only weighs about 3,400 pounds, so flipping an XJ upside down would yield less force on that top than all the snow did. That poor XJ. This past Saturday, over 4 months since the mighty Jeep beached itself, the engineer and his friends went back out to visit, and found the roof rack poking out of the snow. With some shovels and brushes, we dug it out so we could open the doors, but the plowed road was too far to recover from, the mechanical engineer told me. The good news is that the Cherokee started right up after a jump, though it did leak a bit of coolant. Mr. Tesla. And, in addition, the Jeep now has a solar cover to reduce in-cabin temperatures that might accelerate mold growth. I am a bit concerned. The main character in this story tells me that there are about 6 feet of snow in the area where the Jeep has sat since January, and based on projections, he thinks the roads will be mostly clear in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's when he planned. But now here comes the dilemma. All that snow bearing. Hey, race a closer look. Here are some peeks from the inside. The rear wiper and both side mirrors are also broken, and Mr. Tesla engineer does have a few concerns about the suspension, saying when we were digging it out, there was a moment where the body sprung upwards a couple inches. We were concerned about digging off the roof and hood before the side view mirrors for that exact reason. The car would push upwards and bend the ice-blocked mirrors down, he continued. Didn't really. The mirrors are relatively cheap and easy to replace, and as far as the suspension, if I had to bet, I'd say it's totally fine. The major issue is, I am at a loss for what to do next, he told me. I am pretty sure. Should I try to restore it back to original? Angle grind the. Looking at these photos, I agree with the XJ owner that the insurance company will call this totaled. But that's just as for the roof panel, I think this should be replaceable depending upon the extent of the damage, but in any case, it won't be easy. Hey Race, a look at my. Notice how flimsy that ice. It's no wonder the snow crushed it. Still, what below is a close look at those supports in a 1989 Jeep Cherokee A2000. What I'd recommend the engineer do is remove the headliner, and assess the roof damage from below. The panel is towed. If just the roof panel and cross members were affected, and Mr. Tesla engineer goes in recognizing that he's working on a safety critical part and that he may reduce the overall roof strength of the vehicle with his background, it's certain that he realizes this, then perhaps the Jeep can be saved. I think it's possible. I'd spend an afternoon at a junkyard with a sawzall and a few spare batteries, and snag an XJ roof panel and some cross members. Then I'd get again. We're dealing with the roof of a unibody vehicle, so the quality of the repair is important, as the entire vehicle's torsional and bending characteristics rely on that lid. But this engineer's worst case, just buy another clean SJ, perhaps one with a blown motor and bad interior, or a Ford dirt cheap, and swap parts over.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.